as well as a player of another club. I mean, that is fantastic. Remember, someone did this a couple of years ago to a particular club in London. Remember William? He went to have his medical at Tottenham Hotspur. Less than an hour, he was invaded as a Chelsea player. I mean, Tottenham was asking himself what happened. Again, it happened to Tottenham at some point when Everton jacked their player to get somebody from them, and he went straight to Everton. I mean, these things, they happen. I mean, when you agree personal terms and no contract has been signed, any club can come in and get that player, and that's what happened to David Silva, Manchester City legend, yesterday. He was supposed to have signed for last year, but surprisingly, to the entire world, Manchester United announced that they've signed him on a 2-year contract, and David Silva will be playing as a Manchester United player come next season in the Spanish La Liga. Romelu Lukaku, 10 consecutive European football games he has scored in, and with a thrashing of Shakhtar Donetsk yesterday, it means that we have a final with the most successful football club as far as Europa League is concerned, and Inter Milan. The last time they won it, the one they call De Lima, Leonardo De Lima, was still playing with them very, very long time ago. So let's see if Lukaku and Martinez can actually lead them to another European glory. The last time they enjoyed the European success was 10 years ago when Jose Mourinho won the UEFA Champions League with them against Bayern Munich that day. So let's see if this season will be theirs and if they can win the Europa League. And if you are a basketball fan, the playoffs are on, and the Los Angeles Clippers, they were on song yesterday. It's just game 1 and 6 games to go. Let's see what they can do. That's a bid for tonight and early hours of tomorrow morning. We also have the highlights for you as far as tomorrow is concerned on the show this morning. Good morning and welcome to Sport Fiesta, which live on 92.7 KFM down here in Benin City. I'm the sports Berlusconi, son of a Francis Libra Sports Alihu Ibrahim is here with me in the studio. Alright, Brian, good morning. Let's just dive straight to transformation before we take a look at results of games and games we are expecting as far as the semi-finals of the UEFA Champions League is concerned. Let's talk about David Silva. I was listening in yesterday when you guys were talking about how Manchester City will going to erect a statue for him at the Etihad Stadium alongside with these captain have already retired from football, now the coach of Anderlecht. Okay, fine. We already made up our minds as at yesterday evening, stroke last night, that he was going to be a Lazio player and he was going to probably end up his career right here in the Italian Serie A. But surprisingly, before we went to bed, he's now a Manchester player.
Yeah, when we say that the transfer market is a cutthroat business, this is exactly what we mean. It can happen, and unfortunately for Lazio, it has happened to them. Fabrizio Romano says that they are livid right now. They are very angry because they thought they had an iron cast agreement with David Silva. They had already agreed personal terms and everything. It was just for him to finish with Manchester City, then come over. But now he would be joining Real Sociedad. Remember, at one point, I even revealed that Barcelona were interested, but we're saying, look, he has already told them that he is joining Lazio, so he has an agreement in place with Lazio, so he was not going to Barcelona. But suddenly, we heard yesterday that he has decided to join Real Sociedad. When you hear that a team hijacked a deal, this is exactly what they are doing. Maybe it was a bit easy for them to do because the player in question no longer belongs to Manchester City after his contract ran down. You know, sometimes when you have a club, a third club involved, as in the parent club, it might be difficult, especially if the people at that club, the officials at a club they are noted for being true to their word, having integrity. They may tell you, yeah, you are offering more, but we've already given our word to this other club that we are going to sell this player to them. I recall when Paul Ince was playing at Inter Milan under Sir Alex Ferguson. He said he never wanted to leave Manchester United. He never wanted to leave Manchester United at that point before he went to Inter Milan. But that Sir Alex Ferguson just called him one day and like, Paul, where are you? And he told him, he said, okay, I'm coming over to see you. Then he just went and he thought it was something, you know. I mean, but Manchester, Sir Alex Ferguson isn't a manager that beats about the bush. It just tells you it's done. You are going to Inter Milan. And he was like, what? I do not want to leave England. I don't even want to leave Manchester United. How come? I'm like, I said, look, it's for business. I do not want you to go, but the board has decided this is business. We want the money, and so we are sending you to Inter Milan. And he went to Inter Milan. So there might be, if there were a third club involved in his parent club, they may say, look, we have already given our words to these people that we are going to sell you to them. But because this time it is directly between the player and Lazio, maybe he feels, okay, this is my home, a club in my own country coming for me. But I am really surprised because I heard that Barcelona were interested. But because he had already promised Lazio, that's why he said he wasn't joining Barcelona, so he wasn't even interested in the deal, and he had already given his word to Lazio. Now, suddenly, he's saying that he has decided to sign for Real Sociedad. Well, it is his prerogative. He can decide to do whatever he wants, but Lazio are not happy at the moment. And unfortunately, it is Italian clubs that sometimes do these things. They may have an agreement in place with you, and they end up selling the player to another club. Yeah, but this time it has been done to an Italian club, and they are really not happy at all with what has happened, which means now that they will now have to look for another player in the mold of David Silva to bring to their club. It tells you basically that if you have not signed the player, if your club has not officially signed the player, don't assume that it is a given, that it is a done deal. You may have an agreement in place, you may have agreed personal terms and everything. Things can still change. Look at what happened to Tottenham Hotspur in 2013 when they had an agreement with Willian. We had that Willian had even done a medical there, but we know where he ended up, in Chelsea. This season, look at what's happening right now at the moment between Manchester United and Jadon Sancho. We've spoken about it several times here. It appears that it was a done deal. He was going, but up to now, it has not been concluded yet. So he may not even go to Manchester United this season. Kai Havertz going to Chelsea, it's the same thing. Yes, personal terms have been agreed, everything has been agreed, but because the two clubs have not agreed on a deal and they have not signed, even if they agree on a deal, so long as the player has not signed, you could get something else happening. But in that case, it might be a bit difficult because if Bayern Leverkusen, they've agreed to sell the player to Chelsea and they have agreed on a fee. Yeah, so it will now be very difficult for the player. Finally it will be okay, the player has to sign. But since you have the parent club involved, even if another club is coming at that time, let's say Liverpool now comes and say we want Kai Havertz, because they have agreed with Chelsea, it might be difficult for them to now say, Liverpool are offering us more money, then we are going to send Kai Havertz to them. So you see, because there is the parent club involved in this, but in this David Silva case, Manchester City are no longer involved. They are not there. So if Manchester City were the ones that promised Lazio that they were going to send the club to them, then the player to them, then it would have been a bit easier. But David Silva is his own man; he can do whatever he likes. But I think he only did this because he knows this is probably his last contract. If he has maybe if he were like 25, 26, and maybe he was planning to sign another contract after joining the next club, I think he will think twice before doing this, because it will tarnish his image before everybody, and they were like, come on, you've already promised some, so it means that you are not a man of your word. Another club coming to negotiate with him will think twice before doing that.
Okay, that's the situation, and of course David Silva is now a Real Sociedad player and he will play in La Liga come next season. We hear the plan for the 18th of September. We are not sure yet because of what is going on right now in Spain. The second wave of the coronavirus is seriously hitting them. Hopefully that they can work, not as hard as it were in the first one, but let's see if the La Liga will return. One thing that is sure the fans will return, but then we're hoping the fans will return with then. I mean, reduced capacity, but right now we know what is going on. That will happen. Now, stay in the transfer market to take a look at those games. Kike Santana has been fired by Barcelona, surprisingly, according to the report we're getting, that the board wanted Eric Abida, the sporting director, to also go alongside with him, but the president of the club said no, and Eric Abida is still very much in his job. But they are considering, or we hear that terms have also been agreed, but it's not official, between Barcelona and Ronald Koeman. Yes, played for them, fantastic centre back, fantastic free kick taker, but is he the right man for the job right now because of his age and all that? How many years are we looking at for Ronald Koeman to steady the ship for Barca? We're hoping for a 40-something, 50-something years old manager that will stay with them for the next 5-6 years to really help them attain another level of success.
No, but Ronald Koeman is a legend for Barcelona.
True.
Barcelona are the first team to win the Champions League in its current format in 1992. Yeah. So you would say he is somebody that is idolized in the club. They wanted Mauricio. They considered Mauricio Pochettino, but because Mauricio Pochettino is well associated with Espanyol, who are their local rivals, they just felt the club, the fans will not understand this, they will not be happy with this, so let us go for somebody that the club knows. They did the same thing with Luis Enrique. Luis Enrique, after Pep left, Tito Villanueva came in. Then when they were having problems, they went to Luis Enrique, and you saw that his time there was successful with Barcelona. So maybe that's what they are looking at now. So I don't really see much of a problem with Ronald Koeman. He is the national team of the national team captain of the Netherlands. I mean, if you are not a fantastic, the Netherlands have produced fantastic football managers. True. So if you are not good enough, they will not even give you the job. So for him to be the national team manager of the Netherlands tells you that he's got something, and he's always been ingrained with that Barcelona philosophy, the way they want to play football. So he knows exactly what they want. So I think in the long term, I think maybe what they want with him will be a short-term contract so that he can just help to transition. I think that's basically what they are doing, because looking at Barcelona, so many changes have got to take place. Otherwise, they would maybe even in the La Liga, they will struggle to keep up with Real Madrid, with whom they have been in a serious rivalry for God knows how long. So I think he would be a good choice to step in. Then later, I think the ultimate is to get Xavi to come and manage the club. So, but for now, in the interim, they want somebody that they know, somebody that would come and make the changes that they need, not just radical changes that will not end up improving the club. So that I believe that he will do well. He knows the club very well. He knows how they play. The players know him. Many of them are from the La Masia Academy, so they will know his exploits in the club. And even if they weren't part of the academy, if you are joining the club, I believe that you will learn the history of that club. And once you come in, you see pictures, you hear stories about the exploit of former players. And so Ronald Koeman is one of the players that will always be talked about at Barcelona.
I'll go on our very first break on the show this morning. When we come back, we'll be answering some questions. Is Romelu Lukaku showing Manchester United what they are missing right now? Because they are in the finals of the Europa League. Also, we'll take a look at the final between Inter Milan, now confirmed, and Sevilla come on Thursday. Then, of course, can Neymar lead Paris Saint-Germain to UEFA Champions League final? The semi-final game, the one-leg semi-final game, is being fought tonight in Lisbon against RB Leipzig. Please stick around. We'll be right back.
Them talks, not by the way, but it is scratch person, 9% scratch sense. Them talks say to peace no hard, but foul, no feet, word. From north to south, east coast west, for this state our eyes don't open this ground past here. But they observe the matter all around, see good governance, not be background beast. no be by chop finish big teeth, no be by preach finish for pulpit, come the wrong hypocrisy for streets. But for inside belle the first spark, because reason matter well. The true intention of every good leader now to make the common man feel like stars. And for those states, we don't understand this one as facts. Say, but we know Obaseki, we need good governance for starts. Vote Governor Obaseki, vote PDP.
I'm tired of the poor power situation. Every time I stock the fridge, I come back to spoiled food.
My dear, I am tired too.
I think it's about time to go solar.
Go solar?
With Vertical Solar, you can go solar for as low as 36,000 naira monthly by paying installments of up to 12 months.
Really?
Vertical Solar range of products can power household devices such as televisions, fridges, air conditioners, microwave, water pumps, electric iron, washing machine, and lots more. With extensive pay in installments plans for up to 12 months with 10 years warranty.
Wow, what are the benefits of solar energy?
We're talking uninterrupted power supply, no monthly electricity bill, zero noise and smoke emission, and reduced generator maintenance cost.
Where is Vertical Solar located?
Number 28, Country Hotel Road off Ajib Junction, Sapele Road, Benin City. You can call them on 0816 170 1105 or 0703 623 4843. You can also send them an email on info@verticalsolar.com.ng.
Vertical Solar, lifetime power partners. And thank you so much for staying with us on the show this morning. If you just dropping by this is Sport Fiesta. We're live on 2.7 KUFM down here in Benin City with me, the sports by Scully, Salafi Francis, and the Ibak and Dabra Sports Salihu Ibrahim. Okay, we'll be talking about the transfer markets, about the receiver, and as well as Ronald Koeman and the sacking of Kike Senten and Bambasa yesterday. We were all anticipating that to happen after what happened to them last weekend with their 8-2 defeat to Bayern Munich and the quarterfinals of the UEFA Champions League going on right now in Lisbon. Now let's get into the game last night. Martinez and Romelu Lukaku just turned up and they won 5-0 against supposedly stubborn Shakhtar Donetsk. They were supposed to pose a threat, obviously. We know they are very stubborn. They are difficult to beat. I was expecting Tamara to win, but we're looking at 5-0. Looking at a 3-1, probably 4-1, maybe 2-1, maybe
4-1 would even have been comprehensive.
Yeah.
I was thinking 2-1,
Yeah.
3-2, and all that. You know, even before the game, the manager of Inter Milan, Antonio Conte, said this was going to be their most difficult game. But it turned out to be their easiest opponent. And Romelu Lukaku, well, no, you have to ask Manchester United, what have you done? What has happened to him? I think he's scored about 33 goals so far for Inter Milan. And you wonder where was this from when he was playing at Manchester United. Was it his problem, or was it that it was Manchester United that they set up well to really help to show the potentials of Romelu Lukaku? We know that he was a proven striker in the English Premier League. I played for Chelsea, I played for Everton, I played for West Bromwich Albion before he joined Manchester United. So you expected those, and they signed him, I think, for about £75 million. So you expected that he would really hit the ground running. He didn't even do too badly at Manchester United. I thought he scored goals when he was fit, but maybe they weren't very patient with him and eventually allowed him go. And since he joined Inter, he has been transformed. The Romelu Lukaku that we always thought was going to turn out to be the next Didier Drogba, you know, and he even modeled his game after Drogba, whom he idolized while he was at Chelsea, but it didn't quite work out well for him at Manchester United. But I'm happy. I'm happy with situations like this. When things do not work out for you at a club, you go somewhere else and you get your career back on track. It should be a lesson for us in real life. You might be somewhere, things not working well, but you decide to not give up and keep trying. You go somewhere else and things suddenly start looking up. That's exactly what has happened to Romelu Lukaku. And with what has happened in the Europa League, you've got two teams that are very good in the final. Sevilla versus Inter Milan. Sevilla, of course, we've said it several times, they've won this competition more than any other club. So you expect that they will go on to do a great stuff. For Inter, they have a chance to win it. The last time they won it was in 1998 now. When
Ronaldo was playing with them.
Yes, Ronaldo and Taribo West, and they were in. I think they beat Cagliari now. No, Lazio. I think it was Lazio in the final 3-0. Yeah. We've got some fantastic players in that.
Yeah,
he sent the step over. Sent the goalkeeper to 3 different directions before he eventually put the ball in the net. And this their captain, I think, scored also that Ivan Zanetti. So they just absolutely blew Lazio away in that final and won comfortably. So it will be great. Yes, they won the Champions League in 2010 when Jose Mourinho was there, but since then it's been really, really poor for them. So you expect that because they signed so many players. Victor Moses is one, and Ashley Cole. So many players are there, and imagine the Manchester United players. Three from Manchester United players are there currently. Yes, you've got Alexis Sanchez, you've got Romelu Lukaku, and Ashley Cole. So you won. Was it Ashley Cole? No?
Yeah, it's Ashley. It's Ashley Cole.
Is it? No. Ashley Cole at Chelsea. This one, what's this guy's name?
Ashley Young.
Ashley Young. Yeah. Ashley Young. He's there. He's doing great stuff for them, even at his advanced age, and playing what I feel is not his natural position when he plays as a back or left wing back sometimes, but he's scored so many goals from that position, even when he was at Aston Villa. Yeah, so two good sides in the final, and this will be too close to call. We just think Inter were strong enough to go on to win it, even when people were saying Manchester United were the favorite. We're like, hold on, Inter Milan are still in this competition, and Sevilla are there. No team has won it more times than Sevilla, but this time the final is going to be Inter Milan versus Sevilla. It's going to be explosive on the 21st of August.
Okay, now you know what we always ask the difficult questions anytime we are putting, and that happened yesterday with reporters and Romelu Lukaku. They asked him about Manchester United if what he has done now. He has finished second to the virtual winner of his Italian Serie A, scored a lot of goals, but not the highest goal scorer, was scored 20 plus goals, and now he has also helped his team with his number of goals in the continental, all together. They started from the Champions League. Fortunately, they dropped down to Europa League. Now they are in the finals of the Europa League. That if he's missing life at Manchester, and with this being a lesson, he answered and said, see, to him, with what happened at Man United, that has been a successful season for them to even qualify for the UEFA Champions League for next season. It's even a miracle that Ole has done a good job. Now, he has long stress, and he had no problem with Ole, that he was the one that decided that he begged, Ole Gunnar begged him to say, but he wanted to play regularly, and he wasn't going to get out of Manchester United, so they went on a mutual consent. Then he also praised the trio, I don't know, but because of their 44, I think, plus goal, 44 goals combined together, that the development is fantastic, that the people should be patient with United and they will see good. But I don't know, is he trying to respect his own club, or is he just trying to trade shade at them?
No, it's not trade shade. That's a classy response. I mean, look, I don't like when players or managers or any official, you leave one club and you believe that it is licensed for you to talk trash about the club. It's not right. You've got to respect them, because when you were there, you enjoyed yourself, or even if you didn't, but you joined them for a reason. The fact that you were ever associated with them meant that there was something good in the past between you guys, just like a relationship. So because you are no longer in that relationship, you start talking bad about that person, start saying, why did you get involved in the relationship in the first place? You must have at one point been in love with that person, so why start fresh talking the person when you are no longer with them? So I do not like when players will come out and they start saying all sorts of negative things about their former club. So I think it was a classy response from Romelu Lukaku. He could have opted not to say anything and just said, look, I am now at Inter Milan, let us talk Inter Milan. But he chose to talk. So if you are ever going to do that, if you are ever going to talk about your former club, let it be a positive things. If there is no point holding grudges and start saying, it's better when they ask you, you don't have anything good to say, just say, look, no comments. I would prefer to talk about the current situation rather than going back to what happened many years ago. So I think it was a very good response from him. Manchester United, yes, finishing third in the EPL isn't what a club like Manchester United should be aspiring to. But we have to understand that times have changed. Other clubs have also invested. Liverpool, Manchester City. It is clear that these are the best two clubs in the EPL at the moment. So others are trying to get back to where they were. Manchester United, yeah, they did not win any trophy, but at least it's an improvement. This season they played in the Europa League. Next season they will be playing in the Champions League. So you would say they have kind of made progress, but of course they can get better. It is disappointing, really, looking at where they finished, looking at the points difference between them and Manchester City, not to even talk about Liverpool that won the league. And Manchester United and Liverpool, how that rivalry is. So it was a disappointing season. But when you look at it from another perspective, you look at where they were last season, look at where they have been the last couple of seasons, especially after Sir Alex Ferguson left. They've only managed to win the Europa League and the
Carabao Cup.
Yes, so it's something that you feel Manchester United are better than, but having done this season that just concluded, having qualified for the Champions League, you feel, well, they made some progress. So as a former player, I'm happy that he didn't come out guns blazing, just talking trash about Manchester United.
Okay, let's go to what is to happen tonight before we leave football. Later we'll take a look at the news making around football to other sport. Let's go to what we are expecting tonight between RB Leipzig and Paris Saint-Germain. It is the time for Neymar to do something fantastic for Paris Saint-Germain. There's no better time, obviously. In just one leg, you beat RB Leipzig, stubborn RB Leipzig, then be in the final, waiting for Bayern Munich. I think Bayern Munich will skate through their opponent to play in the final. I don't think Lyon will be anything can happen in football. We've seen that already. But again, they play against RB Leipzig tonight. Paris Saint-Germain, they have all the players. We've been told Mbappe is fit to start. They have the personnel, they have the money. Can they get to their very, very first final?
I expect them to. I expect it to be Paris Saint-Germain versus Bayern Munich. That is what my head as an analyst is telling me, going by the strength of the two sides. But my heart as a neutral want to see RB Leipzig taking on Lyon. I think that will be the most intriguing final and the most unexpected UEFA Champions League final, when the draws were made from the beginning since last year. You would not have expected that Leipzig and Lyon will be in the semi-final. Barcelona will not be there. Real Madrid will not be there. Manchester City will not be there. Liverpool will not be there. Come on. We did not expect this. For Bayern Munich, yes, we've seen it, and no surprises that they are where they are. And right now, honestly, they are still my favorites for the title. I'll be disappointed if they do not go on to win this. But because it is just one leg and you don't play over two legs, I think these clubs that you normally will not expect, the underdogs, in this case RB Leipzig and Lyon, they have a chance. I think their chances have increased drastically with this one leg affair that we'll be having in the semi-final. If it were over two legs, I would have said, okay, even if there was a mistake in one of the legs, the bigger club will correct it over two legs and they will advance. But the way it is now, anything can happen. However, I expect that it will be a PSG who would advance ahead of RB Leipzig. But having said that, we expected some other clubs to have got here with the one leg that they were playing, but we saw what happened in Manchester City versus Lyon. So anything can happen.
So it's tonight in Lisbon, Portugal. RB Leipzig against Paris Saint-Germain. Tomorrow will be the turn of Bayern Munich and Lyon. The final will be on the 23rd, which will be on Saturday. Yeah, thereabout. Okay, let's hope that the best team gets to win, and we will not be with both teams tonight. Okay,
I know the Champions League for next season has already even started.
Yes, the playoffs.
Yes, it started.
Yeah.
Celtic will be playing against Reykjavik tonight. FK Karabakh will take on Select. Legia Warsaw versus Linfield. Dynamo Brest will play against FC Astana, while Resta Belgrade will be playing against Europa.
So that's what is going on in the Champions League player for the group stage. And if you crash from this position, you go to the Europa League qualifiers, and then we try your luck again if you can get into the group stage as well of the Europa League. Okay, let's go to the rumors now, but this one is not one of the rumors. This one is confirmed. John Obi Meke of Nigeria has officially signed for Stoke City. So congratulations to
Yeah, we
him.
broke it last night when it happened.
Okay. All right. Manchester City have reignited their interest in Napoli Senegalese defender Kalidou Koulibaly following their Champions League exit, and Borussia Dortmund and Manchester United, they are still going back and forth about Jadon Sancho, despite their account showing a £39.8 million loss for the financial year to June 2020. I guess United bring the money they were set. If I don't know, United are ready to pay that money. Liverpool, Manchester City, Tottenham Hotspur, Manchester United, Leicester City have all asked by Brighton, asked Brighton rather about the potential price of 20-year-old England centre back Ben White, who impressed on loan at Leeds United last season. Arsenal are drawing up the former paperwork for striker Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, a new 3-year deal which is worth more than £250,000 a week. Only hope you're not doing zero over again.
I hope they look at this things very well, their finances, because Willian that they've signed, we hear it will cost them basically £220,000 a week. You have Mesut Ozil on £350,000. Now you're going to be giving £250,000 to Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and this was the same club that fired 55 of their workers, and so it's what they've done. Many feel it's irresponsible to have laid off workers when you have so many footballers earning these humongous wages every week. So I think they should be careful, balance their books very well, so that it doesn't lead to issues for them later. They are, of course, supposed to be one of the richest clubs in the world, but some of the transfer dealings in recent times have not been really smart. You remember that a couple of days ago we talked about the club trying to investigate the circumstances that led to them signing Pepe for that amount. Not that Pepe isn't a good player, but why spend that amount, that £71 million to get him? Could we not have got him cheaper, or could we not have gone for a cheaper alternative? So this with all of this happening, and now you are bringing in players on a free, in quotes, and you are going to be spending 35 million over 3 years on that player. That costs about $1 million a month, you know. So it's something that they've got to be really careful about. Mesut Ozil has said he's not going anywhere. He's going to run down his contract. You pay him his £350,000 weekly for the rest of his contract. So I think they should be really smart about this, so that they don't run into financial problems.
All right, Manchester United are keen on Juventus 29-year-old Brazilian winger Douglas Costa as they start their summer transfer business. Liverpool remain interested in Bayern Munich midfielder Thiago Alcantara, but have told the Bundesliga club they are not prepared to pay £27.2 million for the 29-year-old Spaniard who hasn't yet left in his contract. Wolverhampton Wanderers have rejected an offer from Juventus of Ways midfielder Aaron Ramsey plus cash for Mexican striker Raul Jimenez, who is 29. Juventus are also interested in Arsenal's French striker Alexander Lacazette, who's also 29. Portuguese side Benfica look to be leading this United in the race to sign Paris Saint-Germain's Uruguay star Edinson Cavani, with 33-year-old available on a free transfer. Barcelona incoming manager Ronald Koeman could make Ajax Dutch midfielder Donny van de Beek, 23, his first signing at the Camp Nou. Barcelona could sell 33-year-old Uruguay striker Luis Suarez as part of Camp Nou players, with former side Ajax interested in bringing him back to the Netherlands, and Manchester City could activate the £25 million buy-back clause for Aston Villa 22-year-old Brazilian midfielder Douglas Luiz. Going to some prominent ones, Chelsea teenager Etienne Ampadu, who was on loan at RB Leipzig last season, is keen to try to impress Frank Lampard, with the manager believed to be fan of the 19-year-old Welsh defender. Okay, still on Chelsea. Chelsea have been told they need to pay £90 million to face missing out on Bayer Leverkusen playmaker Kai Havertz. Bayern Munich are the preferred destination for heart fullback Heki, to 18, who is expected to leave the club over the summer. Okay, former Arsenal manager Arsene Wenger has offered his services to the Dutch Football Association to replace Barcelona banned Ronald Koeman. Juventus reportedly no longer consider Cristiano Ronaldo not transferable and could decide to catch in for £54 million when Paris Saint-Germain came to sign the 35-year-old. And finally, Barcelona are set to reignite attempts to resign Neymar from Paris Saint-Germain as they look to recover from the Champions League. As those are the major rumors right now going on as far as football is concerned. Quickly, let's go to the United States of America. Let's talk about tennis first. The US Open is fast approaching, and you have top tennis players as far as the WTA is concerned, as women tennis is concerned. We've been told that Serena Alep has confirmed that she's not going to be playing in the US Open.
We knew already.
So many.
Just officially confirmed it yesterday.
So the question I want to ask, you said this during the course of program during the weekend, that if Serena will now go ahead to win the 24th of Accra Grand Slam, will people really see it as a Grand Slam for her? Because Ashley Barty is not going to be there. Serena Alep,
World number 1 and world number 2.
yeah, they are not there. And
Of the top 10 players, six of the top 10
Yeah.
are not going to be there.
Yeah.
So there's going to be an asterisk. But look, forget it. No matter what anybody says, they are the champions. Whoever wins for the men and women, they will be known as US Open champions 2020. But speaking from a moral perspective, you might look at it and like, do you really deserve to be called a champion based on what has happened? But it's not their fault that COVID-19 came. It's not their fault that some top players decided to pull out for safety reasons, despite the assurances from the authorities that they will be okay. So you will still say, well, they are champions. But I think for you to really prove that you deserve to win the US Open title is if you go on to maybe win another one. Like I think the French Open will be coming after. It's supposed to have been reversed. The US Open is even supposed to be the last tennis Grand Slam of the year, but because of the COVID-19 situation, Wimbledon was cancelled. We're lucky that we even had the Australian Open before all of this. So it will be tainted somehow, for whoever, especially with Serena Williams. Novak Djokovic, the only Grand Slam that has been played this year, he won it. So if he goes on to win the US Open, even if people will say, well, many of the top players didn't come, but they will say, well, at the Australian Open, all the top players were there. He won. Yeah, but for Serena Williams, I think it will be different. If she goes on to win, I pray she does, people will be like, well, all the times that she tried, when all the top players were there, she fell at the final hurdle. Somebody was always beating her in the final. If it's not Bianca Andreescu, it will be Naomi Osaka, or it will be Simona Halep or someone else. but now many of these players will not be there. That's why she won it. I think it would be disrespectful to suggest that because of what Serena Williams has achieved over the years. I mean, the 23 Grand Slams that she won, all the top players were there. If one didn't come because of injury, it is not her fault, So, but the best thing would have been to just cancel the Grand Slam. Apart from the Australian Open that we've already had, the French Open, they will have the French Open. I thought that they should have cancelled it. Wimbledon, I thought they did the right thing by deciding to cancel. Yeah, so now you will have a US Open, but is it really the US Open? You will American players come for the French Open? Because many of the European players are saying we do not want to leave Europe because of the things that what's going on in the United States. They are the ones who have the most cases in the world at the moment. So people are feeling reluctant to go for health reasons. So when the Grand Slam now comes to Europe, when we're having the French Open, will the Americans be coming to Europe, knowing that many Europeans decided to stay away, because of COVID-19? So I think it will be somehow, but whoever goes and wins, well, they will still congratulate them. But I think it will have something of an asterisk on the title that you didn't have the full complement of players.
Okay, staying in the United States of America, the playoffs started yesterday, and the Los Angeles Clippers, Kawhi Leonard, who helped the Raptors to win the NBA last season, had a fantastic game yesterday, reaching 29 points, 12 rebounds and 6 assists to get his team to a winning start. Like I said, it's 7 series, so it's just game 1 of the rest. Talking about the mini-series game, they played against the Dallas Mavericks yesterday. But
he wasn't even the best performer on the night. It was Luka Doncic of the Dallas Mavericks. He scored 42 points. Now, this is the most points that anybody has scored on his debut in an NBA playoff game, but it was still not good enough. He had 42 points, 7 rebounds and 9 assists. But LA Clippers still won this game, 118 points to 110. So the LA Clippers are leading this Western Conference first round game 1-0. Then in other matches, we had Utah Jazz playing against Denver Nuggets. They needed overtime, the Denver Nuggets, but they won 135 points to 125. Donovan Mitchell got 55 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists. He did very well for the Denver Nuggets as they won this game. But someone else who did very well, but he ended up on the losing side, is Jamal. Donovan Mitchell of Utah Jazz got 57 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists to help his team win. But Jamal Murray of Denver Nuggets, he also did great stuff, 36 points, but he still ended up on the losing side. 36 points, 5 rebounds, and 9 assists, but he ended up losing. Brooklyn Nets played against the reigning champions, Toronto Raptors. They won. Toronto Raptors won that game 135 points to 110. And then Philadelphia 76ers played against Boston Celtics. The Celtics won 109 points to 101. And we've already told you Dallas Mavericks lost to the LA Clippers. Then tonight you have maybe the team that will become champions. We do not know. They have to play first in their first round game against Portland Trail Blazers. Los Angeles Lakers with LeBron James, the king. They will be playing against Portland Trail Blazers. Miami Heat will take on Indiana Pacers. Milwaukee Bucks versus Orlando Magic. Of course, the Greek freak Giannis Antetokounmpo. This is another team that many feel will be champions. So we'll see what happens when this first round fixtures are completed tonight.
Okay, that's what happened in the NBA and what we are expecting in the NBA staying in the United States.
Yeah, you know, this time, one big difference from other NBA players that we've had. No home advantage.
Yeah.
Yes, no home court advantage. Yeah, they all played in the same. Story continues. Distribution is we don't even know who they are, but we can see clearly that they have one female member, and then there are so many. I think 5 or 6 other guys. They're always hooded, coming in, destroying things, and these days even in WWE you usually have glitches. The lights goes off and comes back on, and videos will have some issues and everything. So the same thing happened yesterday. But Drew McIntyre came out and then he spoke about Randy Orton, and he said that what he did to Ric Flair last time out when he attacked him shows that he is not somebody to be trusted. He attacked someone who loved him like a son. Then they now show the clip of backstage Retribution destroying one of the production trucks, and one of the crew members was forced to cut the feed. And then the superstars of Raw, they were talking about Retribution, and McIntyre told them that they had to deal with the group. Seth Rollins also came and said he should be the one that is leading the locker room. Then we had MVP issuing a warning to Retribution. Then he tried to blame Apollo Crews. He said Apollo Crews, that the group started showing up the moment when he and Apollo Crews began feuding. So maybe it was Apollo Crews that is behind Retribution. But later we had Apollo Crews taking on Shelton Benjamin, and while this was on, Akira Tozawa and his ninjas, they ran through the middle of the ring, and Shelton Benjamin was distracted, and this allowed Apollo Crews to roll him up to get the victory. And MVP and Bobby Lashley, they then decided to beat up Apollo Crews, but Ricochet, Cedric Alexander, Mustafa Ali, they came, and then they beat down on Bobby Lashley to get him to break his full Nelson. Then suddenly R-Truth came into the picture, and he was Shelton Benjamin was able to pin him to get the 24/7 championship. There are so many things that happen, but let's just skip to the main ones. Mickie James took on Natalia, and Natalia won by count outs due to a distraction from Lana. Then the ladies that call themselves the Golden Role Models, Bayley and Sasha Banks, they took on Asuka and Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler came out and said no matter who wins on Sunday, on Sunday we'll have SummerSlam. So Asuka will be contesting, will be challenging Bayley for the for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Then she will also be fighting against Sasha Banks for the Raw Women's Championship. So Shayna Baszler said whoever wins, she is going to be she's going to get the next shot at the title. So, but for yesterday, it was Baszler who got the win for her team by making Bayley tap out to the Kirifuda clutch. And Shayna Baszler, as we said, she has a genuine MMA background. Yeah, so she actually has fought in sanctioned MMA matches. For Ruby Riott, she took on Peyton Royce. It was Peyton Royce who won. She shoved Ruby Riott into Liv Morgan, and then she hit her to get the win. And we had this segment, Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio coming. So those of you who were wondering what's happening with Rey Mysterio, is he now blind and all that over? So totally these things are kayfabe. It doesn't really happen. So he's back here, and his son, he said he's feeling bad that he cannot protect his son. His son, Dominic Mysterio, has signed a contract, and he will be taking on Rey Mysterio, Seth Rollins at SummerSlam on a Sunday. So they kept Seth Rollins appeared on the big screen and he talked about some things. He said, "Look, Rey Mysterio, you are not a very good parent. You are putting your own son, in a dangerous situation." While they came to the ring, Rey Mysterio now distracted them and Dominic attacked them from behind with kendo stick. Then Buddy Murphy came and tried to saved Seth Rollins from them. We had the Hot Business who took on Ricochet, Mustafa Ali, and Apollo Crews in an elimination match. So we had Mustafa Ali being eliminated when Bobby Lashley hit him with the Dominator for the win. Shelton Benjamin got another elimination when he hit Ricochet with Pay Dirt, and then Apollo Crews was all by himself facing against these three opponents. He was able to eliminate Shelton Benjamin with a power bomb, and as Shelton Benjamin was leaving, Cedric Alexander came and rolled him up, then got the 24/7 title. MVP still here, and Bobby Lashley took control, but Apollo Crews was able to still hit MVP and got the another victory to eliminate him, but Bobby Lashley was able to now finish him off with a spear. So it was the team of the guys that called themselves the Hot Business, Shelton Benjamin, MVP, and Bobby Lashley that won this encounter. We also had segments from the Raw Underground. We had Montez Ford who took on Andrade, and in case you do not know, Montez Ford in real life, Montez Ford of the Street Profit, in real life he is the husband of Bianca Belair, who calls herself the EST of the WWE. EST means the best of everything. You know, if you spell best, it is BEST. If you spell strongest, it is strong, then EST. You know, so she says she's the strongest, she's the fastest, she's the meanest, she's the smartest, she's everything est. So that's why she calls herself the EST of WWE. And so Montez Ford, her husband, took on Andrade. Andrade, of course, had Zelina Vega in his corner. Who Zelina Vega was shown earlier, seems that she was poisoning the food of Montez Ford. And so they had this fight, but it was Montez Ford who was able to roll up Andrade, and he got the win. Then finally, Shawn Michaels addressed the WWE Universe. He came out and he said that what happened between Randy Orton and Ric Flair last time out wasn't nice at all, and that Ric Flair was a trailblazer, and Randy Orton unfortunately doesn't appreciate what it was like to have Flair as a mentor. But as I was trying to leave the ring, Randy Orton came out and hit him with an RKO, and then he followed up with a punt kick. Then Drew McIntyre came and chased him away. So while Drew McIntyre was checking on Shawn Michaels, Randy Orton tried to hit him with an RKO, but he caught Randy Orton and chased him away again. But again, he tried to check on Michaels, and this time Randy Orton was able to hit him with an RKO to end the show. And remember that it will be Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre at SummerSlam.
All right, guys, we have to apologize. We can't take your messages now, but don't worry, we'll take them in the evening. We'll come back for the evening edition of Sport Fiesta by 4 p.m. Apologies, we have to take the final whistle and pay some bills right now. I have commercials to take, so we have to go right now.
He looks fit, lean. At Manchester United, he didn't look like he could get around the park. Here, he's just running past people. You wouldn't see him do this at United. I was fitter when I was at Inter. Whether it's the food, the weather, the climate, he looks like a different animal. We know he can finish, but wow, I bet they wish they had him now. Former Manchester United and Inter Milan star Paul Ince praising Romelu Lukaku for his sparkling form at Inter Milan after leaving Manchester United. And that's the final whistle on Sports Fiesta this morning.
It comes back to music. Have a wonderful day ahead. Bye-bye.
Trying to get or receive information through all corners of the globe